Welcome to the Top 25 Today. I'm your host, Carrie Roberts, and today's interview is part of our Top 25 Today Voice Technology Companies That Can Help Your Business Scale series. And joining me today is one of those voice technology companies, HandsFree Health, with its co-founder, Dan Messina. Welcome, Dan.
Thank you, Carrie. I'm excited about talking about voice technology and the implications it has on healthcare.
Yeah, so you've been in healthcare for quite a long time, and you've had some pretty big roles, including the CFO of Aetna Health and the co-founder of Health Advocate. Can you share with us a little bit more about why you started HandsFree Health, and especially within the voice technology space?
Sure, I'd love to. It's really kind of a perfect storm. It was clear to me and my partners that through Health Advocate, that there was a real need for consumers and businesses to have a better understanding of what was going on with healthcare. It's a very confusing topic, and it's getting more confusing every day. And further, the burden is being placed on the consumer to take on more and more responsibility. You combine that with the voice recognition technology and the improvement of voice recognition technology, and suddenly you see this environment where you need to have something at the front door of healthcare, something within your house that provides 24/7 counsel and advice to an individual who has to take on more responsibility. And so toward that end, we built this products that are voice platforms that will provide an individual with reminders. It'll provide the individual improved medication adherence. It'll answer any kind of health question you may have through a very robust health library. And also provide some entertaining features, music, audiobooks, etc. So we just view that the consumer is now isolated. And frankly, COVID-19 even brought this to light even more. The consumers are isolated, particularly seniors. They have to have someone who can answer questions for them. And that's what we believe HandsFree Health right here, our device, will do for them.
Yeah, I agree. You and I were talking earlier about just the changes in healthcare over time and why it's so important, like you said, to reach the consumers in the right way. Can you share with us a little bit about the type of businesses that you particularly work with?
Yeah, I think that's a very important point. I think of a device like this, a smart speaker and a corresponding watch. You think of that off the top of your head as something that will be a consumer product, direct-to-consumer product, and it is. But we also feel we have a B2B service. When you think about Medicare, Medicaid, you think about medication adherence, you think about presenteeism and absenteeism for large employers. A device like ours will help an individual get better quicker. It'll make sure they adhere to the medication requirements. It'll help them get back to work faster. It'll make them more productive. And so toward that end, anything you can do to improve the care of an individual, to make sure that they're following the medications they're supposed to be taking them when they're supposed to be taking them. We can communicate with their carekeeper to coordinate that level of care. Finding doctors, answering any questions about health you might have. Think about a business that has people on workers' comp. You want to get them back to work. Think about a woman who prenatal care or after pregnancy. You want to get back to work. Think about a person who has some type of injury. You need to get them back at work through rehabilitation. So anything you can do to make it a better environment and to get a person back to work and improve presenteeism and absenteeism, while at the same time improving Medicare rankings, star rankings, Medicaid, NCQA rankings, all are intended to help businesses become more productive. And in the case of insurance companies, improve their revenue base simply by improving those measurements. Those HEDIS measurements are used to look at Medicare rankings and the NCQA measurements for Medicaid.
And so when we're talking about businesses too, this is kind of our main topic for this series. How does your company use voice technology to help the businesses you described scale and grow?
Well, from that perspective, when you look at an insurance company, the insurance company obviously wants to grow through more members. They also want to grow by having a robust Medicare ranking. The better the Medicare ranking, the more members you're going to get, the more revenue you're going to be able to collect for that Medicare ranking. A platform like ours, given to their membership, either in the form of an app and sold on a per employee per month basis, or the device itself in coordination with the watch. We also have a MediAlert watch feature, a personal emergency response system watch. All those features will help them improve those HEDIS measurements. All those features are improvements from Medicare, from a membership perspective. Think about silver sneakers. Silver sneakers is something that Medicare recipients look for in picking a Medicare Advantage plan. Well, imagine a platform like ours, a HandsFree Health platform that someone can have at their home that can focus on health care. Not only will it drive more membership from a marketing perspective, but it will also improve the quality of that membership and improve medication adherence. So that's one piece. On the employer side, think about the 20% of the employees who account for 80% of the cost. You want to make sure those employees are getting better care. You want to make sure they're following their medication procedures. You want to make sure they're seeing the doctor when they're supposed to see the doctor. Because again, it goes back to that presenteeism and absenteeism environment. So if we can improve the productivity for an employer by making their employment base less absent and more productive, that's all good. So you can look at it from a marketing perspective, growing membership, from a revenue perspective, bringing in more revenue by improving your rankings for, in the case of Medicare or Medicaid, or you can improve productivity and presenteeism and absenteeism, and by improving productivity, which will help the employment base.
Yeah, I think those are both really good points. And again, both are extremely important to businesses, like you said, in order to help them scale and to grow. Can you share with us any success stories you have with clients of yours where you've helped them scale and grow, and it's in turn made their clients happy?
Yeah, well, we're early stage right now, so I don't have a lot of direct success I can point to. But HandsFree Health, I would point out that we're on Amazon and Walmart right now, so we're seeing a lot of platforms which have a lot of appeal for us. We're getting millions of impressions and tens of thousands of clicks looking at us, and we're getting a lot of purchases as a result. But I can tell you that and I can tie this with a Health Advocate, with our Health Advocate experience. Because think of HandsFree Health in many respects does a lot of the things Health Advocate does, but does it in the home in a voice recognition tool. And it clearly, we grew Health Advocate to 44 million members. And so you can see the growth potential that exists. And the same thing would exist with HandsFree Health. And for all the reasons I cited earlier, anything you can do to improve your revenue base, improve your rankings, and improve presenteeism and absenteeism. Anything you can do on that front is a positive thing. And it produces a very favorable ROI, very easy to figure out ROI, I might add. And for that regard, and it also makes, I guess I would say this, we're focusing on the business side today, which is obviously appropriate. But at the end of the day, it's an end user. Whether it's business to business, at the end of the day, it's an employee who's using it, or it's a member who's using it. And that member or employee has to feel good about what they're using, that they feel it's secure. It's a secure, HIPAA compliant tool. It's not being listened to. It's not hearing what you're saying. It's not recording what you're saying. So you can feel secure in what you're using. Think about if you have a parent who is alone in a home 3,000 miles away. You can communicate, in effect, through this device to make sure that your parent has taken their medications, to make sure your parent is adhering to those needs. And if not, we'll communicate to the carekeeper that they're not taking it. So it just, in my regard, it sort of takes, through voice technology, it just brings a level of comfort for the end user and for their loved ones. And that is at the end of the day, that's the most important piece of the puzzle here. Yeah, you sell it to business, but the business won't buy it unless it works for their employees, or unless it works for their members, unless it provides favorable feedback from them. So at the end of the day, you're always focusing on the end user. You may sell it through a business or an employer, but they're not going to buy it if their employee or their members aren't happy with it and aren't meeting the needs from it.
Yeah, user experience makes a world of difference. And I think that's a really great point as well. What would you say makes HandsFree Health unique? In other words, what is your brand about, and how does it kind of stand out amongst its healthcare competitors?
Yeah, I think it's great. That's a very good question, Carrie. I like to think of HandsFree Health as an integrated platform. It's not fragmented. You can go to a whole host of apps all over the place and ask a question about this or that or that or this, and you'll hear them say that those are HIPAA compliant. but they're in a platform. They're in a device, which is not as a whole HIPAA compliant. We have an integrated platform. It's not open access. It's secure. It's HIPAA compliant, and it focuses first and foremost on health, not entertainment. Other devices out there are focused on entertainment first, not health. And we're focused on the end user, not the provider side of the equation. That's an important piece of the puzzle, but we're not as hung up on delivery of care as we are the administrative care and the nature, the usefulness of this device to help an individual figure out what needs they have, how to meet those needs. So I would think in a nutshell, I would say it's HIPAA compliant, secure, it's integrated. I can't say that enough. It's not a fragmented thing. In that regard, it provides a unique, easy to use tool. I mean, another feature which we have filed for a patent on is I want to address two of these actually. One is if you have a loved one, and this would apply whether we sell it to a business or whether we sell it to a consumer directly, that lives in Connecticut and you live in California, you can set this device up for your loved one from California. So you don't have to worry about your elderly loved one who may be not comfortable with technology. You can set this up for them. And then also it's voice recognition, so it recognizes your voice, and it has a color on top of the thing. You can't really see it here, but there is a color band on top. Up to 6 members of the household can have that color band, a separate color for each one, and it'll recognize that person's voice. The color band will go up, and it's secure. It provides secure input for that individual. So not only is we just providing a device that meets one person's needs, it meets a broad family need, which again is important from a business to business standpoint, because businesses, insurance companies, employers, they're providing this to their employees or to their members, and there are more dependents within that family than just that one individual. This could serve those needs as well.
Yeah, I think, having everything in one place and then being able to translate it in different devices, as you said, is of great importance and really makes you all stand out in that space as well. If people have questions, they want to learn more about HandsFree Health, where is the best place to do that?
www.handsfreehealth.com. We're also on LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, you name it, we're on it. And so please go there. We have a sales team as well that's out selling it on a business-to-business level as well as a consumer level.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much, Dan, for being with us and sharing how your company uses voice technology to help businesses scale.
Thank you, Carrie.